night.
On World News Tonight this Tuesday, following Hurricane Floyd, which has millions of people anxious. This is what it looks like on scores of southern roads. The credit card scam that trapped students as well as older people who thought they were protecting their cards. And we'll take a closer look at prescription drugs, the danger of getting the wrong one.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. It's no longer a matter of whether Hurricane Floyd hits the U.S. coast. It's simply when and where. So let's get right to it. Don't just pay attention to the eye, the hurricane analysts tell us. This storm is so large that hurricane winds are being generated 100 miles in every direction from the center. The storm is causing so much violence in the atmosphere that its character is changing constantly. Here's the situation this evening. The northern Bahamas have been badly beaten up. After crossing those islands, the storm moderated slightly, but parts of the Florida coast are still vulnerable. And if the storm turns north as anticipated, Georgia and South Carolina may get the worst of it. Our reporters up and down the coast tell us that millions of people are very worried. First, ABC's Aaron Hayes, who's in Titusville, Florida.
Peter, there is no doubt tonight that Hurricane Floyd is going to cause damage along the Florida coast. The only question now is how extensive it will be. I can tell you more than 1 million people have decided not to wait around here for a first-hand answer. Worried about their safety, they are getting out. They are fleeing whole sections of this state. Nearly the entire coastline has been evacuated. Even 50 miles inland, they're worried. The state's huge theme parks today sent everyone home. Disney World, never closed before, is closed now. Evacuated as well, the Kennedy Space Center. The space shuttles are in buildings not designed for Floyd's worst winds. A few workers stayed to ride out the storm, hoping to start repairs as soon as Floyd passes.
I think we're in a situation that's not good. It's a bad situation, but it may be manageable. As long as the hurricane's eye stays offshore and the eye wall doesn't touch the Cape, then the very highest winds would remain offshore.
The beach is closed. That includes water and sand.
When you go out and turn those power and the water off and you wonder if it'll be here when you come back.
There is anxiety across Florida, a feeling that something terrible is on its way.
I just have a dread of seeing the devastation this storm could cause, and particularly on people and their lives and destroying things they've worked so hard for.
Not in anyone's memory has there been a threat this huge, bigger than the entire state.
I don't know, this one scares me.
There is a somber mood here tonight. The beach is empty. None of the usual pre-hurricane strolls or surfing. Instead, millions of people spent this day securing themselves to meet Floyd. Many in long, long lines. Snapping up supplies, getting themselves to safety. The roads have been jammed all day, with those rushing from the coast, hoping to get out of the path of Hurricane Floyd. And state officials tell us they expect people to be on the roads well into the night. They're keeping the roads open here until the last possible hour to give everybody a chance to get out. Peter?
Thanks, Aaron. Aaron Hayes in Florida. This is the path they anticipate the storm will take, a northwesterly direction, possibly picking up speed as it moves farther north. Along the coast, the people of Savannah, Georgia, and its neighboring communities are on the move. And on 90 miles of interstate, all the traffic is going one way. At Paris Island, South Carolina, 7,000 Marines have evacuated their base. At Charleston, South Carolina, they're preparing for their second encounter with a hurricane in 10 years. ABC's Aaron Brown is there tonight.
If Floyd does arrive, there won't be many witnesses. The main road out of town was packed.
Where are you going?
We're going to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, how long do you think it'll take you to get there?
Well, normally with no traffic, probably 5 hours. Now it might take us about 10, I reckon.
By noon, leaving was not optional. People had to evacuate. 500,000 people.
This is a mandatory evacuation, which will require that those citizens that live in the affected areas leave those areas and go to a safer haven.
Everything shut down. Even the famed Citadel, the military school, was evacuated. No one was surprised. People had spent the morning filling up on gas and emptying out bank accounts, preparing. Floyd is what they talk about. Hugo is what they remember.
This hurricane coming now, it's a lot worse than Hugo, a lot bigger than Hugo ever thought about being. I think Hugo is sort of like a baby to this thing.
10 years ago, Hugo slammed Charleston, leaving 26 dead. People in what they call the low country. The downtown is actually a few feet below sea level, and the high ground only 20 feet above needs little persuasion.
You start getting a tightening in your chest and you're worried, and are you going to have a home to come back to? You just don't know.
Peter, just in the last half hour, the weather here in Charleston has started to change. It had been calm. The wind has now picked up a bit. We got a spit of rain. The sky, particularly off to my left, has gotten quite angry. The storm not expected to reach here for another 36 hours or so, but by starting a day earlier than they did when Hugo hit Charleston, they feel in Charleston they're about as ready as you can be for something like this.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Aaron Brown in Charleston. The authorities very pleased that people are paying attention. For all the information which we convey about Hurricane Floyd, the real expertise and analysis is at the National Hurricane Center in Miami. We depend heavily on them. ABC's Bob Woodruff has been at the center since last night.
11 o'clock Monday night. A team of meteorologists pinpoints Floyd 360 miles out at sea. Evacuation experts consult with local governments, warning them about the storm's size.
Hurricane Floyd remains a very strong, dangerous storm.
It cost the economy about $1 million a mile to close down coastal areas, so every warning is carefully considered.
If this does turn to the north, it's good news for Florida, bad news for the Carolinas?
That's right.
1:25 this morning, the White House calls. This hurricane is potentially so lethal, the president's advisors asked to be notified of any major development. 4:25 a.m., the hurricane has started to turn north. The White House gets its call.
We're looking at a storm that is starting to make the turn.
7 o'clock this morning, the hurricane has moved 85 miles closer to the coast. It is so intense, land-based radar, which usually does not work at this distance, begins to pick it up. It's now 9:30 in the morning, and computer models show that the eye of the hurricane will probably land near Charleston, South Carolina. But it will get there by spreading hurricane-force winds along the Florida coast.
There's going to be an onshore wind when that core comes in there. So any of those low-lying areas out on those barrier islands, they got to get them out of there.
Floyd is the most powerful hurricane these scientists have seen in 7 years. They're in for some long days and nights before it's over. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Miami.
So let's check in with our own hurricane analyst, Bob Sheets, who's down there. Bob, there's some talk today about this storm turning, going up the coast, not unusual, but therefore accelerating as a result. Can you explain what that might mean?
Yes, Peter, it could move toward the north-northwest and then accelerate as it gets to higher latitudes. It starts getting picked up by the westerlies here. And the bands, though, however, are raking along the Florida coast. Earlier, we thought they might not get the hurricane force, but it now looks like they will along the Florida coast from central Florida right on northward.
And in a phrase, is this a storm that can get even bigger than it currently is?
By the fact that it stayed offshore a little bit more, the eye wall looks like it's going to stay offshore. By the fact that that's doing that, then it can maintain its strength, and certainly that's bad news for South Carolina and North Carolina.
Bob Sheets, thanks very much. Talk to you tomorrow. When we come back, what makes a hurricane so dangerous? We'll actually deconstruct one. And some of the day's other news today, trying to avoid a credit card scam and being swindled in the process. And we'll take a closer look at the risks when prescription drugs are switched at the pharmacy.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Charles Schwab.
I'm not really close to Anna Kournikova. First of all, there's that whole language thing.
A PE ratio is price divided by earnings.
Earnings per share is a company's net income minus preferred dividends.
It's like she's speaking a different language.
Can anyone say asset allocation? Mid cap, small cap.
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm,
growth fund,
we created a smarter kind of investor.
Besides, some of the other players are kind of jealous of her, portfolio.
One word convinced me to take an herbal to help maintain memory. Centrum. Centrum Ginkgo is different. Some brands can lack natural ingredients. Only Centrum uses Pharmaprint for a more complete herbal every time. Centrum Herbals, each naturally more complete.
All right, kid. Here we go. 10-9. What do you got? What do you got? What? Yeah. All right, come on, come on.
What would you do if someone you loved had a heart attack? Did you know it's now been proven that the same Bear aspirin you have in your bag for muscle aches may actually help stop you from dying if you take it during a heart attack?
Downtown. Lucky shot.
Can your pain reliever do that? Talk to your doctor now.
Next time I'll go easier on you.
Bear, powerful pain relief and so much more.
There's actually a good deal of unsettled weather in many parts of the country today, but wherever people live, affected or not, Hurricane Floyd is often topic number one. As we continue our coverage, some very distinct features that experts look for in order to determine the destructive power of a hurricane. Its strength. The key to any hurricane is its center or eye. The eye itself is generally calm, but the lower the pressure in the eye, the greater the velocity of wind the storm will generate. The extremely low pressure in Floyd's eye has produced winds of 150 miles an hour. The storm surge. Extremely low pressure in the eye of a storm can literally lift the water beneath it. Floyd may be capable of creating waves of water 10 to 20 feet high, and the winds may drive the water several miles inland. The rainfall. The areas in red represent Floyd's most intense rain-producing capability, about 2 inches per hour. A slow-moving storm, such as Floyd, has the potential to drop 5 to 10 inches of water on any given location. And finally, its size. Floyd is 600 miles across. Even if its center was as much as 125 miles offshore, it would still generate hurricane winds along the coast. Those of us who covered the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew still all have in our minds the images of devastating damage that it did. And ever since, both industry and science have been working to find a way to better protect people and property from winds which were or are that strong. Here's ABC's Mike Von Fremd.
It is the sheer force of the wind that destroys and kills in a hurricane. This is what it's like to stand in 75-mile-per-hour wind. But big hurricanes are much worse. This was George last year. Winds of 130 miles per hour blowing off shingles. Hugo 10 years ago. 140 mile per hour wind flattening entire neighborhoods. Andrew 7 years ago. Winds of 145 ripping the face off this 5-story building. Floyd is at least as powerful and covers a bigger area than any of them. If it comes ashore, the winds will rip up conventional homes and turn the debris into deadly missiles like this.
If a family was just protected by this, they'd be in trouble now.
Surely there's simply too much energy carried by that piece of flying debris for any conventional wall system to stop it.
But Dr. Bernard Kiesling and a team at Texas Tech are coming up with a new design that can protect people trapped in high winds. It's a safe room built of reinforced concrete for just a few $1,000s. Last May, a powerful tornado ripped through this Oklahoma City neighborhood with recorded winds of more than 300 miles per hour. Beth Bartlett's home was destroyed, but she and her mother survived inside her new safe room.
The only thing I was concerned about was the door, because you could hear the pressure on the door. We knew the house was basically gone.
Safe rooms do not protect against flooding and cannot be built in areas vulnerable to tidal surge. But for those living a little further inland, they can save lives. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
There'll be more on the hurricane later this evening on Nightline, and for the very latest, 24 hours a day, you can log onto our website, abcnews.com. They're covering this constantly. When we come back, your money. It is possible to be too careful when it comes to protecting your credit card.
What's so great about nasal crom? Look at me. I'm not sneezing, but I'm not drowsy. I'm not stuffy, but I'm not jittery. I've never been not miserable in allergy season before. Nasal crom's incredible. Unlike these, it can't make you drowsy. And unlike these, there's no possibility of nervousness or dizziness. It's the only allergy medicine that goes right to the source and flat out prevents allergy symptoms. Nasal Crom. The best way to stop suffering is never to start.
What if Dr. Frankenstein's experiment had worked? And instead of being ugly and ruthless, the monster was handsome and charming. Would the villagers still have hunted him down? Or would they have invited him in and introduced him to their daughters? Introducing the all-new 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, nicely equipped at 17.7. It's alive.
50 is courageous, confident, beautiful. 50 is being who you are. To make sure being who you are stays beautiful, there's Pro Vital for skin that looks revitalized, resilient, remarkable. Just like you. Pro Vital from Olay. Proven to be why women over 50 look so wonderful.
They say a man's home is his castle, so maybe he should clean some of it. Now it's easy with new Lysol all-purpose cleaner in a handy spray. He can be Johnny on the spot. He can clean your vanity. Or his. New Lysol powers away tough grease better than all the rest. And life's easier knowing Lysol kills harmful germs. What a prince. New Lysol all-purpose cleaner. Till you have our word on it, you can't call it clean.
Tonight, one of our regular reports on your money. The Federal Trade Commission announced another crackdown today on crooked telemarketers. This time, they're aiming at companies which sell worthless insurance against credit card fraud. Here's ABC's Rebecca Chase.
Hello?
The callers targeted senior citizens and students, telling them that they could be liable for thousands of dollars of unauthorized charges to their credit cards. They said that all card numbers are now on the internet and that consumers needed the protection they offered. All lies. Federal law already protects consumers from all unauthorized charges over $50, but thousands believe the pitch.
I just felt like if my credit card numbers were on the internet, well, they could take me for everything I had.
The Greensboro resident was so scared, she gave the caller her card number and agreed to pay $199 for the insurance. So did 1,800 other people in North Carolina, prompting the Attorney General to take action.
This was a real scam, and it was a real deception.
This scam has been going on across the nation. And today, the Federal Trade Commission took action against 2 companies and announced a third will refund consumers their money.
We're talking about a lot of consumers who lost money, and the loss of the money we estimate to be as much as $25 million.
Auger got her money back and learned never to give out credit card numbers to unsolicited callers. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Greensboro, North Carolina.
In other news today, the United Nations says that a peacekeeping force led by Australia may be in East Timor by the weekend, or at least that's the optimistic scenario. The UN also says that violent mobs are still attacking people. 7,000 already dead. Today, 1,500 refugees who'd been hiding in that UN compound did make it to Australia. ABC's Mike Lee is 600 miles away from Timor in Darwin.
They arrived aboard Australian Air Force planes, tired, dazed, relieved. The children, weak from hunger and little sleep. Hundreds of people who had been living in terror. The refugees left the UN compound suddenly in the middle of the night when the UN staff decided to make a dash for the airport while the gunmen were sleeping. The refugees were told only an hour before the evacuation. For a change, the UN had the cooperation of the Indonesian military, an army escort for the convoy through the deserted, burned-out neighborhoods of East Timor's capital.
They were crying on the plane. They're incredibly happy that especially the women and their children have gotten out. They're also very sad because they don't want to leave there. They want to live in East Timor.
UN officials say they never considered leaving the refugees behind.
There's no doubt that they were at grave risk for their lives if international personnel had not remained. So that at least is a feeling of some real satisfaction.
By all accounts, these people are the fortunate ones. Hundreds of thousands more are on the run with little food or water. 12 United Nations staff remain in East Timor waiting for the peacekeepers, hoping, just as so many others are hoping, that the wait will not be long. Mike Lee, ABC News, Darwin, Australia.
In a moment, we're going to take a closer look at a very serious problem having to do with prescription drugs and your pharmacy. Why would the pharmacist give you the wrong medication?
You have to wonder what business that leading specialty coffee chain is really in.
Oh, the large black. How's this?
But what if instead of all that other stuff, you want simply great tasting coffee? Try Millstone. We make coffee our only specialty. That's why we slow roast choice Arabica beans for a smooth taste that's not over roasted. It's preferred nearly 2 to 1.
These are very popular.
Millstone whole bean coffee. Available at your grocer.
Remember life in the fast lane?
I do.
First you meet, then you get married, and things slow down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sport Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. Get up to $35.67 average finance savings with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on 1999 Regals. Official car of the supercharged family.
Oh yeah, I'm on a seafood diet. I see food, I eat it. But thanks to Healthy Choice, I've got a nutritional guardian angel. Like the roast chicken. All the fixins, only 6 grams of fat. What is that, like a sit-up? Healthy Choice figured it out. Chicken breast, smothered in a mushroom wine sauce, veggies, so fresh tasting, they bite back. It's a plate full of good eating. There's no room for extra salt and fat. Choose Healthy Choice. How easy is that?
Something's up with Mom. Yeah, now when she comes home, she has an activity planned. Soccer, baseball, badminton. She's a total spaz. Listen, we like playing just as much as the next kid, but doing it with Mom is going to take a little getting used to.
Exercise, eat right, and for nutritional support, take GNC's Women's Ultra Mega Multivitamins with more calcium and more B vitamins that are important to a woman's health. GNC. Live well.
Maybe she'll grow out of it.
The first flurries are just weeks away, and when your deck is covered with snow, you'll be happy to know it's also covered with Thompson's Wood Protector. After all, it's the most powerful Thompson's yet. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
This week, we're going to take a closer look at the risks of prescription drugs. There is a pill for just about everything now, and with an aging population and a demanding generation of baby boomers, new drugs are being spawned every year. More than 3 million prescriptions will be written this year for more than 3,000 different prescription drugs. Consumers will spend more than $100 billion. With all the choice out there, so many drugs available, there are bound to be mistakes. ABC's John McKenzie tonight on the danger in a name.
Helen McLaughlin was 73 years old when she went to her local pharmacy for a drug to control elements of her depression, a drug called chlorpromazine. What she received was a drug with a name that looks almost identical, chlorpropamide, a medication used by diabetics to lower their blood sugar. After taking that wrong medication, McLaughlin was rushed to a hospital suffering dangerously low blood sugar, which resulted in respiratory failure and infection. She died weeks later.
It's just the injustice of it all. This wrong medication leads to a whole series of events that cost my mother her life.
Some public health officials warn that medication mix-ups may be a common problem. No one knows exactly how common because no one in the healthcare system is required to report it. No accurate records are kept. But the fact is, with an ever-expanding array of medications, many with dangerously similar names, with pharmacists filling more prescriptions than ever before, the risk of error grows.
Pharmacists have the tremendous pressure of volume and numbers, so they have to get them out. That means they take less time to look at the prescription. They are less likely to double-check or triple-check to make sure that it's the right drug that the physician wanted.
Mistaking one drug for another can pose a serious health risk. But another potentially dangerous, less obvious problem is what happens when pharmacists follow directions from managed care companies and switch medications intentionally. Most managed care companies issue their own lists of preferred drugs, usually drugs they can buy at discount prices. If your doctor prescribes a medication not on the list, your managed care company will try to substitute one that is. Patients who refuse can be forced to pay for the treatment themselves.
Pharmacy costs have increased about 84% in the last 5 years, and if left unchecked, that type of pharmacy cost inflation will make pharmacy benefits unaffordable to most Americans.
But this is not just replacing a brand name drug with an identical generic drug. It's often substituting one chemical compound for something completely different, one that can produce different side effects and require weeks of adjustments to find the proper dose.
During that period of time, a diabetic can develop a kidney infection. A patient with heart disease can develop a heart attack. A patient on a beta blocker could develop a stroke.
Switching medications, accidentally or intentionally, can come with painful, unforeseen costs. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Tomorrow, do antidepressant drugs do what people think they do? Back in just a moment.
What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Yikes!
A day with warm, ooey gooey doughboy cookies is always a better day.
You guys want cookies? Yeah! Mom made cookies?
Pillsbury chocolate chip cookies make their day the doughboy way.
So what are you guys doing today?
Eating cookies, Mom.
I should have used Preparation H. Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Stop assuming that just because you're hugging one of these, you can't have a car that was made for hugging these. Alero, with the road-hugging active response system. Start feeling connected. Alero by Oldsmobile. Start something.
You've dreamed of opening your own place. Now stay healthy and energetic and enjoy it. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver. Its age-essential nutrients may help maintain your immunity and help keep your heart healthy. Give your life a silver lining with Centrum Silver.
Wake up at the crossroads of America.
Come on over, come on in, pull up the seat and take a load of your feet.
We've moved to the heart of it all. Come on over to Good Morning America at Times Square.
Well, you all know what our top story is. The eye of Hurricane Floyd, one of the strongest storms ever, is now expected to hit land in South Carolina early Thursday morning. Its effects already being felt on some parts of the coastline. 500,000 people in Charleston have been ordered to evacuate. Floyd is a huge storm. In Florida, the big theme parks have been forced to close sometimes for the first time. That is our report on World News Tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABCnews.com, now a part of the GO Network.